What is going on YouTube? Joe here from Metafish. I need a haircut. This is the December fish room tour. I haven't done one in a long time, so a lot's changed. And as usual, I'm going to try to go pretty quick through the tanks, let you guys focus on the fish and everything that's changed. So yeah, let's get right into it. So we're going to start in a little different area than we usually do. This is just from last night. I've been trying to do a little bit of catch up, cleaning the filters. That's all from the box filters. But these are the Tiger Endlers. So I sold a lot of these lately. So this is a new batch just starting to grow up. But yeah, doing pretty good in there. And these top tanks, these are all my 10-gallon tanks. The top ones, some of the plants grow okay, but they don't grow quite as good as underneath because I have a strip light underneath for these other 10 gallons. So yeah, let's just go across. This used to have fish in it. Currently I'm just using it as an extra biological filter. It's just a small breeder box with lava rocks. These are Hippopoint Salmons growing out. So yeah, I've been just trying to move fish, play musical chairs with them, make sure they have enough room to properly grow and be healthy. And yeah, so almost every single breeder box has changed from what it used to have in it. So a little bit of a jumper here, but that's okay. That's a Santa Maria male. These are actually the Santa Maria males that I have for sale. So that's what you would get if you purchased a Santa Maria male from me, and they're in here with IFGA blue/purple. Some of them are more purple, some of them are more blue. That's actually the original male that I purchased. They have pink spots on them too, some of the males. But this isn't the best tank. These are mostly just grow outs. And I say jumper, so these are the other males in here with a little bit of Java moss. So I need to go in here and get the Santa Maria guy out of here because he looks like, I think there's a couple of them, and I don't really want them to impregnate the purple guppies. These guys are looking for a new home. These are Eastern Happies, the blue collection point. And there's one male up here. But they do pretty good in this 10-gallon tank, but it's kind of a small tank for this group. But they're doing real well. Nothing else in this breeder box. Again, it's kind of just a refugium right now. It's got some Java moss in it. I'm trying to grow as much Java moss as I can. This is a big pile of Java moss with my wild-caught swordtails. These were all raised here, and some of the males are starting to show that sword, which is really nice. And I'm going to say it now so I don't have to say it too many times later. I apologize for the glare. You can see my ear in the background right now. But these are my favorite swordtail. I just love them. Love the colors on them. So yep, these ones are for sale. And I can sex them now. I can sex the males and the females, which is pretty cool. It didn't take that long. I have quite a few males actually. And those swords will get 2 or 3 times as long as what you're seeing there. These are doing really well with this Java moss. They're starting to finally breed well in this tank. These are the Snakeskin Orchid Endlers. And I don't think I have these listed on the website currently, but I should probably get them up there. Really nice Endler. And the babies are finally starting to survive. This Endler actually does go after their fry quite a bit compared to some of the other Endlers I've had. So it's nice to have a nice carpet. I'm sure there's lots of babies hiding in here. You just can't see too many of them. This is just another grow out tank of the IFGA blue, purple, whatever you want to call them. Some are more purple, some are more blue like this guy. But you can see they have the pink. And the pink kind of varies depending on where the spots are located. That one has a lot of spots. But they're real nice. Some of the ones I have upstairs are huge for guppies. They're probably pushing 3 inches. These are black bar endlers. Another really nice endler. I have 2 tanks of the black bars currently. And I guess, you know, what's changed the most since my last video is, you know, went to 1 swab, but COVID-19's just got things locked down pretty hard. And got some plants in here. Got some Java fern, which I grew immersed and then put into the tank, and I haven't seen hardly any melt back on any of the plants that I grow immersed and then put into the tanks. And just like all the other tanks, I really like the Java Moss. These are the Santa Maria Endlers. I already went through this tank once and sorted out the best ones, and then I took all the culls, which are still really nice fish, but if they don't have like even top and bottom tails, or if the females have like a different color, like this one right here, that one's more gold, so it's not a traditional female, but it's still Santa Maria Endler. I will take those when I go to sort through the tank. I'm not calling it culling because I'm not getting rid of those fish, but I put them in my muck guppy tank in the other room. So they're doing great for me. This tank with a Hamburg Matten filter in the back, it's going to be really hard to see with all the plant cover, but I have one sponge, I have two sponges, and those aren't even really running, and just one Hamburg Matten filter. And duckweed on top. And a lot of people hate duckweed, but I like it. And duckweed there, and then frog bit here. And it's basically, you know, the more plants you can keep alive and have in your tank, the better the water quality. So this tank is just mixed fish. These were my blue-green metallics, blue-red metallics, sorry, that I was trying to line breed. And as you can see, I failed. I did not get these things to start producing true. This is just one tank of them. I have two more tanks. But there's some really beautiful guppies. I mean, for muck guppies. So I do sell a muck guppy bag on mymetafish.com. And it's just a grab bag. So I'm going to pick some of the nicest different colored male guppies for you. And then this Pleco is hilarious. Let's see if we can't do it. Because this guy, you see how fat he is? It's because my wife comes down here and feeds him flakes. That's what he's looking for right now. He sees me, and he's always at the front of the tank. I don't know if I'll be able to do this one-handed or not. But, she comes here, and she sticks the flakes in it right in his mouth. There, he's got one. Yep. But a little fat guy, he knows how to get the fish food. So, but I have Plecos in most of these tanks. This, I actually have a free tank here, but it's full of Java Moss. I've been waiting for it to grow back because I cleaned the tank, moved the fish out of it, and when I did that, I actually rolled the mat of Java Moss. And if anybody has done this before, you'll know that it kind of dies back. If you flip it, if it's not getting the nutrients in the bottom like it's used to getting. This is another Santa Maria Endler tank with some of my good ones, and I'm letting them breed in here. But yeah, I have a lot of Santa Maria Endler tanks, so I think I'm going to drop the price. I'm already the cheapest Santa Maria Endler breeder on Aquabid and eBay, and I'm ready to just drop the price again because this is an awesome Endler that a lot of people can have and should have, and I have a really healthy strain here. So yeah, let's do it. So those are going to be going on sale here. I'm not really shipping, so this is not really an advertisement. It's more just a fish room tour video. I'm not shipping till the new year, so depending on when you watch this video. These are my blue Moscow guppies. This is one tank of them. I have a couple. And really nice guppy. Get complimented on these ones a lot. Those are mostly juveniles, so their colors aren't, and their tails and colors aren't 100% yet. They get a lot darker than that. And then right next to them, these are more tiger endlers, snakeskin endlers, whatever you want to call them, which is a endler guppy crossbreed, but they're really nice. They're yellow with the tiger or snakeskin patterns on them. Everyone's just a little bit different with the patterning. Really like those. And you're probably wondering what that sound is. That's my automatic water change. So this whole room has automatic water change, and just as an example, the way I set it up is with these valves, and then those are tied in to the main system. I'll go over that in a separate video, but every tank here gets about 10% automatic water. So I have two pipes up there, this one in the back that doesn't have the valves. That's my water line, and this is my air line. So if you've watched previous videos, you know I have a big carbon block filter that I remove the chlorine from the water and then temperature control it into all these tanks. So this is super exciting. These, if you've watched some of my previous videos, you know these are my favorite fish. I just took the entire tank apart yesterday and checked every single one of these fish, and 4 of them had eggs or fry, which is the most I've ever had from Tropheus de boisei maswas. These big ones here, these are wild caught, and the other ones are going to be F1s. And I recently added 10 to this group. I want to give a shout out to George. Really good guy down in Detroit, and I didn't know if I could add to my colony, but he had extra females that were pretty good size, and I'm really male heavy on this group, and I added them in, shut off the lights, rearranged their tank, and they took to the colony really well, which is very rare for the Tropheus. And I actually think that maybe 1 or 2 of his were some of the ones that were holding yesterday, but I'm not 100% sure. Some of his were the smaller ones. But I just love them. It's a great fish, and they're doing really well for me, and I'm excited to finally have, I should have about 20 babies, hopefully raising up, and I think they're already spoken for, but hopefully I can have more in the future. Nothing much new with this tank. This is kind of my Apache hybrid tank. The big male's doing fine. There's always 1 or 2 holding females in here. She's got a big mouthful ready to spit. But you'll see that I'm pretty well full up, so I'm not trying to raise more hybridized Apache fish. This tank doing just fine. There's yellow blaze lithobait in there. They don't know what my camera is, so they're a little skittish. Few blue dolphins. There's actually a convict cichlid in here. It's not really doing much for me, but got to work on that tank along with some other stuff. I got rid of all my hybrid large 4-inch plus fish. Shout out to Justin who took them, gave him a good deal and a 75-gallon tank, but it was all part of the plan to give me time and space to do some other stuff in the other room, which you'll see. So win-win for both of us, I think. Really great guy. He wants to continue on with some of those really cool fish in that line, and I'm ready to move on to something else. These are Eastern Happy grow-outs. They need to get a new tank real soon here. And you say, well, you just showed us a 10-gallon tank. Why don't you put these fish in that 10-gallon? Because they're going to destroy my Java moss. And unfortunately, I'll have a tank for them very soon. But I kind of value the Java moss more than them, just because most people, they're not that colorful. And the majority of people who want to buy fish, they're looking for the color. These are the same fish as these ones right here. And you know, the females are pretty bland, and they get along okay with peacocks and haps. I mean, these are almost all females. The males can look gorgeous, but it's just difficult. So we'll go through the breeder boxes real quick. Interruptus, these are Pundamilla macrocephala. They're like a real black Lake Victorian, kind of rare in the hobby, and I'm very happy to finally start having some of those. These are Sunshine Banga fry growing out. These guys need a bigger home, but they're not overcrowded. They're still growing just fine. There's actually Hippopoint Salmon and Sunshine Bangas in here. If you look real close, you can tell the difference in the body shape. These are pretty good sized Sunshine Bangas, which could use a new home also. And I have made a lot of progress on the ones that really needed new homes, so hopefully that'll show through as we go through the fish room tour video. These are the blue gold cichlid, the Spilontaneous Tanzanias. These are ruby red cichlids, and I actually got an albino there, which I thought was pretty cool. These are Interruptus as well. I should probably move these pretty soon. I think I know what I'm going to do with them. I just got to find time. These are ruby green Lake Victorians, one of the most beautiful Lake Victorians in my opinion. Really like them. These guys, I probably should move them also. These are Kenyes, pretty common in the hobby. It's a Mabuna cichlid. These are also ruby green, so I kind of split up my batches so that I wouldn't overcrowd the breeder boxes, but they're pretty good sized also. Along with Super VC10s, which is a hap cichlid, very similar to the Giraffe Cichlid. And just a little different color patterns and stuff. So I really like them for some reason. I'm not drawn to the color, I'm drawn more to the uniqueness and pattern. And the males get beautiful anyways. They turn red with a big blue head, just like Venustus, the Giraffe Cichlid. We're not going to be able to see these guys very good because I don't have the lights on, and they just got a water change, so they might be a little freaked out. But there's 2 Cyprichromis in here. I have a couple of Lupi cichlids, as well as multicolored Victorians. This is my main multicolor tank, and they're really pretty too. I really like this fish. They stay really small, and if I could zoom in on them, you can see pictures of them on the website. They just have lots of blue around the fins, tail, and their lips are blue, and really pretty colors. But again, no light on that tank. These are the Spilontaneous Tanzanias. I see we got a lot of glare. These guys are always hiding from me, especially right now they're going to be. But the male is beautiful. You can see a picture of him on the website. This tank, I'm trying to breed these Lupi cichlids. These are the Lake Tanganyikans, so I got 2 females and a male in here. This is one fish I've just always kind of struggled with, so I put all these muck guppies in here just as dither fish, because the Tanganyikans can be a little skittish if there's not enough fish in the tank, and I got plenty of guppies, so it made sense to put them in here and just let them grow up and be dither fish with the little Lupis, who really don't do them any harm. I mean, maybe this fish has killed a few, but I haven't noticed it, so not really a big deal. These guppies are so different than the Lake Tanganyikan cichlid that some of the fish that you might think are really aggressive and will just kill all your guppies, if your guppies are so different than them, they're not even going to pay them any attention. So, that doesn't always work, but sometimes it could work. So, you can try out things like this and just be ready if it doesn't work for a plan B. These are some of my Geophagus steindachnerai, the red hump Geophagus. This tank could probably use a little bit of a clean. I got some crypts growing up in here for plants, and I'm growing them in sand, which seems to be working really well, except the Geos spit the sand all over them. But yeah, I've gotten quite a few batches of those Geophagus lately, so I have enough of them. Again, I got more Java fern in this tank. These are my super red pineapple swords, and I don't have any males showing swords right now. My big male, who was the dad for these ones, actually ended up dying in my pond outside, which is unfortunate, but I got quite a few more in the other room growing up that are even smaller than these. Just a really nice swordtail. I do like them, but these tend to eat their fry a little bit more. It seems like the more color they are, if it's like a koi guppy or something, they tend to be a little bit more aggressive towards their fry. Alright, we're not even halfway done, so I gotta speed it up. I got, I can't even think of the name, Taiwan Reefs in this tank. They're gonna be hiding. I got the lights off just to keep them comfortable. I still haven't spawned these, but I'm working on it. These are the deep water haps. Really nice haplochromine cichlid. Really enjoy them, and they're in here, which maybe isn't the best combination, but these are the pearl cichlid, Geophagus brasiliensis, and they're not looking the best as far as the geos go, but that's a 90-gallon tank there, and then down below is a 75. These are my breeder blue dolphins. Not a whole lot to see here. They're a little skittish right now. They're getting a water change. Their water just turned on. These are my Tropheus chipimbis, which I put all this water sprite up top, and I thought for sure the Tropheus were going to just decimate it because they're more herbivorous, and they pick at algae and they eat plant matter for the most part in the wild. But they didn't. It worked out just amazing. Now, granted, I put a lot of water sprite in a lot of tanks, and the fish did destroy it. But this tank, they didn't. So you're not going to win them all. When it comes to plants, I basically just hope for the best. You just never know if it's going to work, for me at least. And these are the Tropheus chipimbis. And I actually ended up getting 4 fry out of them not too long ago. 4 doesn't seem like much, but they're not full grown yet, so I was real happy to see them, that they're happy enough to even start spawning. And a lot of glare going on here. These are the VC10 breeders, and they are really mellow. It's probably because there's only 4 of them in that tank, but I've had a few. The male's probably not even going to show himself. But just like this guy jumped out of one of these breeder boxes attached to the tank. And they just let them grow up in there, which surprises me because they're more of a fry eater. They have really thick lips and they like to suck bugs and fry out from in between rocks. So they have those real thick lips so they can kind of suction cup and suck things in. Or at least that's what I heard from the research I've done. These are more little VC10 babies that I got from them. These I'm pretty excited about, except there's a couple that have bent tails. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cull that one. And maybe all 3 of those. But there's quite a few hiding behind that seashell there. These are the Neochromis omniceruleus. I'll show you the parents, which I think are really cool, beautiful cichlid. I have a free breeder box there, and then these are more Kenyi cichlids. They are cute as babies for sure. And they're good looking as adults. So we'll go into this room next, I guess. But I got, okay, so these are Geophagus Steindachnerii babies. So you can tell I got quite a few there. There's probably 25, 30 fish. And right behind them are begging koi angelfish. And this is, I spent pretty much all night on these tanks. These are Hippopoint Salmon, which is very happy to have those. And these are Tropheus deboisii Maswas. I got 3 good ones in there. And they're also in there with the blue gold cichlids. These are Christmas Fulus, so I've gotten a couple batches of these, which is really nice because the parents are getting really old and I don't think they're going to be around very much longer. This tank's way overcrowded, I get it. I've been moving fish out of here as I can. These are koi angelfish and gold angelfish, and unfortunately I lost the mom, who is the mom to all these fish. So I will not be having any more of this strain. But I have plans in the future. But if you want angelfish, now's the time to get them while they're nice and small and I can still ship them more easily. And they are high coverage, really pretty koi angelfish. And the golds are really nice too. And they're blushing. Both types are blushing. These are some more that I moved. They're the same brothers and sisters, but I just moved them and gave them a little bit more space up here. And this is where I tumble all my eggs. So yesterday, these are Tropheus deboisii eggs. I know these are not all good. You can tell that one on the right is white, but the other ones might be okay. And these are more Tropheus deboisii eggs, just barely moving in the current. These are blue golds that still have their egg sac. I know it's hard to see. Wonder if I can. Yeah. But these are my homemade tumblers. These are Tropheus. And you can tell some of these are fertile for sure, which is really nice. And these are the ones from a couple weeks ago that I stripped, and they're about ready to come out of that tumbler. And these are, I just got these yesterday, stripped these ones. And you can see they still got their egg sac, but they did take some baby brine shrimp. I think there's 10 of them. And that just makes me super excited to be making more Tropheus deboisii maswas. They're cute little guys. I love how they call them a starry night cichlid, all the deboisii. Let's see if I can get one of these. Because these are still super small. And it's probably not going to focus, but they got the little dots all over their face and body and fins, so they look good as juveniles, and then I think they look really good as adults too. It's just a totally different color pattern. And these are the only Plecos that bred for me lately. These are the brown spotted, and they're just munching on some green beans in here. Speaking of Plecos, let's go over that real quick. The 180 gallon here. Not a whole lot. I mean, I've been selling quite a few Plecos, took a lot to the swap. They're doing real good. Super Reds are getting pretty good size. Those are probably pretty close to 2 inches now, like that one right in the middle. And that's the majority size on all of them. This one's a little bit bigger. There's not too many that size in there. But a lot of different, I'm sorry about the camera. A lot of different groups of them that have spawned. All my breeders are in the other room. I have albinos, pretty good sized albinos here. But they had a can of green beans last night, so they still have a few remnants of it. And yeah, so that's the Plecos. We'll go over these real quick. So these are black Bar Endlers. This was the original tank that I started with. Lots of Java moss in there. It's 10 gallon. The blue-tailed Gudiyad, very rare Gudiyad, is doing really well in here. The juveniles are almost the same size as the adults now. And looks like mom's pregnant again. That's the mom right here. You can see her belly starting to get there. So she might have another batch. I should probably move some of these juveniles out of here just to make room for the other batch. This is a fry grow out from one of my ponds. Boy, the glare is really bad today. And these are blue Moscow guppies and super red pineapple swordtails. Down below here is a really weird tank, really weird size, but these are the blue Moscow guppies. And these are more multicolored Victorians in this tank. These are a really cool Lake Tanganyikan. These are the... Oh, when I talk so long, I start forgetting names. Neolamprologus Cygnus. They don't have a common name, but they're a Burchardi type cichlid and really rare in the hobby. And they've been doing real good for me on Aquabid and everything. The juveniles actually end up looking better than the adults. The lights aren't really doing these guys justice, but they got orange, almost like a highlighter around their head, and like purple markings. You can look up some colors on the website or on Google on these guys. Really nice. Like these are probably 3 months older, so you can tell they're kind of losing that color pattern a little bit. These ones are, some of them are 2 inches in here, but I really enjoy them. Really nice Tanganyikan cichlid. And nothing real special in these tanks. I just have some, it's not slate, it's shale, I believe, rocks in here, and just a very light amount of crushed coral, just to keep the pH up. You don't need to do that. I've raised these in bare bottom tanks too, but they seem to really enjoy this type of setup right here. We're not going to be able to see too much in this tank. This is my white lab and Pundamilla macrocephala breeders. The male's super nice. You're getting that reflection of the carpet right now off the tank. But they're pretty skittish. They come out to eat and that's about it. I can see them, but I'm not going to be able to zoom in on them. And this tank is an old work tank. It's all scratched up, but it does its job. It's a 100-gallon tank. This tank, you see the water level right there because I got a slow leak over in that corner. So I need to take these guppies and golden white cloud minnows, and I need to move them to this 20-gallon that I got set up down here, and then totally drain this tank, pull all the plants out, and reseal. So that might be a weekend project for me coming up here. This 20-gallon though, these are more angelfish, kois, and golds, as well as my biggest rainbow fish that I've bred so far. These are the Peacocks rainbows, and I think I only got 3 of them because I was just starting to learn how to breed the rainbow fish. And if I turned, I don't think I can turn the light on, but they are pretty. They got really good colors for juveniles, and they're doing real good in there with the angelfish. They're fast enough. They get to the food, and yep, just a real enjoyable tank here. And I like to run 2 filters whenever I can. 1 sponge, 1 box filter. I got some plans for showing you guys how I do some of these box filters, or how I plan on doing them in the future. So this is really cool. These are my very last batch, and see, this is what you have to cull. I've already culled this tank and gotten some of these bad ones out of here, but you can see some of them just don't grow up with the best genetics, so you got to remove those from the group, and they'll always be stunted and always have problems, but you can feed them to other fish, so that's what I do. Anyways, this tank is just packed full. of Water Sprite. Really, I leave this light on 24/7 and water change out this tank and just feed it really heavy, and these angelfish seem to be doing really well, but they are overcrowded. They need to go somewhere else. This tank I paid really good money for. These are the Pinoy Blues and Veil-tail Blue angelfish. So they're not going to look that good right now, but they came from a breeder in New York, and I paid good money for them. So I'm really hoping that I can start breeding some of these blues, and I really enjoy them. They're doing really good. I kind of feed them a lot of brine shrimp, just kind of spoil these guys. And the koi angelfish in here, which are high fin, high coverage, these I also paid big money for, and they're a totally different lineage than my koi angelfish. So I'm hopeful that these will grow faster and get big enough that I can pair them off with my selected koi angelfish here. But right now I got plenty of koi angelfish, but I won't be making any more until I can get another breeding pair. These are just a few Geophagus, and then basically just a whole breeder box full of Java moss. There's Java moss in here. These are Snakeskin Orchid Endlers, along with a handful of swordtails, which didn't overwinter, but we're out in the pond. I didn't realize they were swordtails until they started growing and getting bigger in here. These I did the video on. These are the Amica Splendid, and tons of glare because I have a light over here. This is my brine shrimp hatchery, and this is all new. So what I ended up doing is I bought 4 55-gallon barrels. And my plan for these is I'm going to do Daphne in these. But currently, right now, I just wanted to test them out and make sure that they were safe for Daphnia. You might have seen that guy. I don't know if I'll be able to show you guys with one hand. Got some Venustus in there. So they got a nice big container and just a sponge filter. And yeah, kind of neat. They're doing just fine in that 55-gallon drum. It's a lot of space for, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 Venustus. So these ones are just empty right now, but I'm looking for Daphnia magna because I want to start doing live foods that are for the bigger fish, because the brine shrimp is only for babies basically. The big fish don't even pay attention to it. And the Daphnia, it'll self-populate and everything. The 120-gallon tank. These are my biggest and best koi angelfish and golds, I would say. Doing real good in here. Big clump of Java fern. Again, I grew this immersed and then put it in the tanks, doing real well. Eventually I might end up trying to sell some of the immersed plants like that. And then I've done it with Anubias. I should really go back there and get that piece of Anubias in the back corner right there. But I just throw the Anubias into tanks and usually does pretty good. And these right here, these are my Neolamprologus Cygnus, the biggest ones that I have. That was the very first batch that I ever raised. And they're ready to pair off and start breeding. So if you're looking for a breeding pair, let me know. I don't have them priced online, but this would be a male because he's much bigger. And then this down here would be a female. So I can't really guarantee because I don't want to put caves in here to get a true proven breeding pair, but they should be breeding here shortly. I bet they would if I just gave them a few caves. These are my Sunshine Banga Peacocks. Sent an order of those out. A whole breeding pack. I think it was 6 females or 5 females and 1 male. And they're really nice, about 3 inches. And sent those out. It was super cold, and I've been doing UPS shipping more and more lately. So after the new year here, I'm going to start shipping again. These are Dimitochromis strigatus plus the blue gold cichlids. I got to really get a move on. I see it's already been 34 minutes. But yeah, 75-gallon tank here. I do big water changes, like 80% water changes, and I clean those filters every single week, and there's 3 box filters in there. just because when you stock a tank this heavy, you really you got to take care of the bio load. And the blue golds are just starting to show some color. These are the Kenyes. The males are going to be the yellow ones. The females, or not quite males yet, or not, I mean they're males, but they haven't shown their colors yet, are going to be the blue and black ones. And I gotta pull that back up. So what I did up here, I know it's going to look like a mess, but I tied in a third air pump. I'm not running it currently, but that I can quickly swap out. So I actually have one air pump in the first room that we haven't looked at yet, one air pump here, and then I have a spot for a third one. So I'm starting to lose the pressure with the amount of drops and filters that I'm running. 2 air pumps isn't really keeping up. But anyways, these are VC10s as well. These are Bosmani rainbow fish from Lake Antinjo. These guys are due for another 10-gallon tank. I have these up in my bedroom as well. Really love looking at them. They got real sparkly bright colors if you put a nice light under them. And they got lots of red ram's horn snails and brown ram's horn snails in here. Gotta do a little bit of a turkey baster cleaning on that tank. These are Tropheus interruptus and also some peacock hybrids, but mostly these are fire Ugandas. And yeah, my light in my fish room is just pretty bad, but you can tell that's a male right there a little bit. If there was better lights. They're getting there. They're getting about 2 inches. This is a 120-gallon tank, 4 foot by 2 foot by, I believe, 2 foot. So it's a little bit wider if you look down the row. This one sticks out another 6 inches from, those are 110-gallon tanks. They're super tall, and those are 75-gallon tanks. This is a 110-gallon tank. And this is a 120, I believe. It might be 140. And blue dolphins down here. Blue dolphins, so many blue dolphins, but they're doing super good. And these are my original and breeding group of the wild-caught Xenotaka Clementiae swordtails. I think that's what they are, the Clementiaes. And I also have the Geophagus. This is usually where I pull the eggs from for the Geosteinbachnerii. You can see that one male chasing right there. He's fired up. So he's starting to show some pretty good color, even though the hump on top of his head isn't that big yet. He's starting to show that red though. But they don't really mess with the angelfish. I haven't had any issues with that. And look at him showing off. Just really cool pattern, really cool fish. I like them. And you'll see them all day long. They'll be sifting through the sand here, looking for pieces of food and insects. And I ended up putting more tanks down here because I got dolphins here, and then there's one big Malawi eye biter. You can see the shadow. There's no lights down here though. In a 10-gallon tank all by himself, so it is what it is right now. I'll take him to a swap, or if anybody's looking for a 10-inch or he's probably 6 or 7-inch Malawi eye biter. I think it might be a female. I can't tell for certain. So yeah, I think that's that room. And we already went over that stuff. We'll go to the last room. We're on the final stretch here. So this is kind of nice. I don't have anything in this tank at the moment except there's a couple fry I got to scoop out of there. And I'm going to end up turning this into one of my show angelfish tanks. It's a 180-gallon tank. So I'll have the Plecos up above, which is actually just such a waste because this could be beautiful when you walk through here seeing like beautiful discus or a monster fish that's like the center of the room, because you can talk to people through the tank. You know, that's my automatic water change and everything. I got a camera down here, which I don't really even look at anymore. It was kind of cool because when I first put that up, I was trying to breed most of my fish in these 2 tanks, and I could zoom right in and pay attention to them without them paying attention to me, because they definitely do change their behavior if you're in the room. But it's just a waste to have this as a Pleco tank, but it just works out so good with all the breeder boxes around that I enjoy it. Not as much as I want to turn it into something beautiful with tons of plants and beautiful fish. But maybe someday. Hey, Tropheus. And okay, I think we got everything in that tank. These guys are starting to look really nice. These are some of my different hybrids. This is a Dimidochromous Malawi eye biter crossed with a Apache sulfurhead peacock, and this is what came out of it. He's the dominant male, and this is my best blue dragon blood, and I just really love it because he's got orange and blues running through him. He's not looking his best right now, but he's got that Apache blaze along with the blues. I think he's super cool, so I might keep him just to try to breed him, and I might end up rebreeding this guy because he doesn't look like, you're not going to mistake him for anything. You know he's a hybrid right away, so I'm okay with breeding something like that. It's not like you're going to look at this fish and go, oh, that's an eye biter, and then make a mistake, and then you muddy up the gene pool. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with future hybrids, if I'm going to do any of them. And this is another blue dragon blood, but I've had a couple people come down here, and then there's OB peacocks in here as well. None of them are really looking that good as far as OBs go. And this is what I call a ice dragon blood. I call it ice because it's got lots of whites sparkling through it. But I got quite a few of those. Really like this tank. This is really nice. I should really strip this one because it is the Dimidochromous. She's about to spit too. Hybrid female. And whether she bred with the blue dragon blood or the hybrid that I have in here, I would still be happy with those fry. I ended up with 10 Compressicep Apache hybrids, so most of them are females in here along with this guy. So yeah, he got an upgrade. They got an upgrade to the 75-gallon tank. Down here is one lonely kissing gourami and some really nice 3 to 4 inch blue dolphins. They just got a 75% water change. This whole row did yesterday. These are all my Apache Peacocks. I didn't think I had this many, but when I combined all my breeder boxes and gave them their own 75-gallon tank, it turned out to be quite a few. And some of them are even starting to show a little bit of color, which is a lot of fun. When you have this many fish, they just get along better. It's just a better experience, in my opinion, when you're growing up juveniles. But eventually, this many fish is going to need more tank space than this 75-gallon has. So these are the Neochromis omniceruleus down here. That would be, this is a female on the white blotched Neochromis. The male, I have a blotched male in here as well. He's the only one with an egg spot. I don't think it's that one. Oh, sorry about that. It might be that one. But there's 3 or 4 in here, and they've been giving me a few batches of fry, and these are the ruby reds in here as well. And I ended up selling off all my male ruby reds, and that's what's kind of nice, is you sell off the dominant males, and some of the other ones will start showing color not too long after. So really like the Neochromis. That's the male right there, and he's actually got some pretty nice coloring through his finnage. He's got that red along the back fin, and pretty sparkly with blues and greens, if you actually can see that fairly decent. But I think that's a pretty cool fish. Pretty rare in the hobby too. Yeah. So that's another 75-gallon tank. Heavily stocked. Oh, they broke their filter, so I gotta fix that. I got a filter up at the top that's just bubbling. Oh, right there. But they get a lot of water changes. It's all set up to automatic water changes, so I have that one on full bore. So it does, all these 75 gallons probably get closer to 20% every single day of fresh water, which is necessary if you have it that heavily stocked. These are the Christmas Fulus that I have growing up. They get a 29-gallon to themselves right now, just to try to put on a little size to them. I split up my Plecos because they weren't breeding that well. And this is one of my Calico Plecos right here. He's the oldest, biggest one. And I put him in here with some super red females, but it doesn't look like anybody's breeding in this tank yet. These are Eastern Happy, the original breeders, which all the babies came from. These guys could, there was a whole bunch holding in here, so they might have a little bit sunken bellies because a lot of the females haven't been eating. There's the male right there. They're a nicer fish than they get credit for. The glass is a little dirty on this tank though. I really like how they have that black running from their eyeball to the bottom. Then they got like black fins on the bottom. Kind of unique. These are the multicolored Victorians, and they live in here with one Pleco. You can kind of see the Pleco's tail just shot behind that rock. Oh, and there's one of the fish. But these are my breeders here. There's only 3 of them. They get a 29-gallon tank all to themselves. And I threw some Anubias in there. Looks like it's doing okay. I should probably attach it to a rock or something. These are Hippopoint Salmon. These are the originals. This guy's not the dominant male. Looks like he's getting beat up on a little bit. This is the dominant male right here. I just love their colors. That salmon color. Really cool. Almost through the entire body. So this tank I'm actually saving for the blue angelfish. This is my normal breeding super red bristlenose tank, but I haven't been getting a lot of luck out of it. That's why I moved a few of the fish out of there. This guy's all beat up. I probably shouldn't even show you because he's been taking some damage. He's got a really bad belly. These are the Christmas Fulus. You can see they're, I know it's a 29-gallon tank and it gets fed real heavy. That's the male right there. That's the breeding, the one who breeds. But they're big. They were huge when I got them. They were kind of a rescue. I did buy them at the auction, but only because nobody else was bidding on them. And I have a soft spot for Lake Victorians. And if that glare wasn't there, you'd see that that's a very pretty fish. But he's not as pretty as a juvenile would be with brighter colors. I got some good pictures of him on the website though. I came down here and that female looks like she's taking some hits too. Ooh, quite a few. But I mean, they're breeding, they're not tearing each other up too bad. Can't do right by all your fish, I guess. These are the Santa Maria Endlers. So I decided in this tank, that's one of the males that just grew up. There's only one adult male in here. There he is. And he's got these long fins. He's just, in my opinion, those long tail fins, he's like a perfect specimen. So I tried to give him unhit females, but one of his offspring's already trying to get in on the action, so I'm gonna have to pull that guy out of there. But real neat fish. And if you're an expert in Santa Maria Endlers, tell me if there's something that's not, if that's not exactly how they're supposed to look. These were some of my other best ones, so this is another breeding tank. There weren't this many fish in it just a few months ago, so they're actually doing real well. Very prolific. That's guppy grass there. They must have pretty big batches of fry because look at all the fry. And these are more of the Lake Antinjo and Bosmani rainbow fish. They have a lot of guppy grass in there. It's just a 5-gallon tank to let them grow out a little bit more. That guy looks like he might have a little bit of a swim bladder issue. He's not just floating, he's working pretty hard to get to the top. And yeah, what it says there, SM culls, that's not right. And more tanks. Let's go through these fairly quick. These are more just basically blue dolphins, dragon bloods that I have. These are actually the yellow dragon bloods, which this guy's pretty nice for a yellow dragon blood, but I don't know. They're not as nice as some of the ones I sold before. These are Christmas Fulus, these darker ones. Just starting to get some decent size to them, 1.5 to 2 inches. And just your typical blue dolphins and Apache Peacocks. That's just a hybrid peacock that doesn't look, he could be mistaken for a ruby red if you didn't look closely. So, but I know it's not a true ruby red peacock. These are also Apaches in here that I put in here just as dither fish. There's one Geophagus, Chilotilapia uchilis, and VC10s. These are Geophagus in here as well. These are growing out, just with some decorations and coral in there. These are the ruby green cichlids. So the male's pretty cool in there, but these guys are still pretty small, but they're already starting to breed. These are the Zebroblecidans. Males are starting to get some nice little colors to them. They should be breeding here pretty soon. This group I'm having more luck with than I've ever had with the Zebroblecidans before. I've kind of struggled in the past with this species. Blue dolphins and blue dolphins. Alright, I'm going to get up off the floor here. I did not clean the second row of tanks here, so we're going to go through them pretty quick. These are more muck guppies. Muck guppies. Look at the size of that female though. She's probably the mom to every single fish in here. She's big. These are the Lake Antinjo Bosmani rainbow fish. These are actually the breeders. They don't look that good. They look better in the morning. But really nice fish. Big fan of them. There's a lot of different location variants you can get there. This glass is pretty dirty, scummy. There's some Venustus, some light dragon bloods. Nothing fancy there. These, the algae's taken over a little bit. These are some of the Hippopoint salmons that I've bred. Got a couple really nice males here. I believe it's this one who actually gave me a nice picture to use on the website. But two nice males in here with some females. Oh, three males, yeah. And this tank's a little bit scummy right now, but these are my Julidochromis marleri. I just need to get in here and clean the front glass. I did all the bottom tanks yesterday, all the 29 gallons, and these are all 20 gallons. So I need to do this row tonight. So I don't think Mom's gonna show herself. She only comes out usually when I feed the tank. But they're already getting pretty sizable. Those are already inch and a half almost. These are a random Lake Victorian. I don't, unidentified. You've heard that story before if you've watched my videos. These are hybrid yellow blaze lithobates. This is daddy to all my koi angels, and unfortunately she passed away. And it looked like he had kind of stringy poop, so I didn't breed this fish. So I wonder if they actually came in with parasites, because I have lost quite a few of them until I got down to this one pair that bred for me and gave me all my angelfish. So it stinks. Losing that female really hurt. I tried to treat the tank. I salted it. I added Epsom salt because she was looking a little plump and not laying eggs or eating, and it was a battle. I mean, everybody goes through it, but it stinks because this was a paired fish. So now he's all alone. I don't have a mate for him. And blue dolphins. These are my threadfin rainbow fish. I just pulled my first eggs from these guys, and they're super tiny eggs. I don't know if they're gonna go or not. I put them in a Tupperware container with some methylene blue, so we'll see. Threadfins are a really cool fish though, in my opinion. And these are the Plecos breeders. These are white-tipped ACI. And these are VC10s. So I have quite a few tanks of VC10s. They have such large batches, just like a Venustus or a blue dolphin. Oh, and they all just ran and hid. They do not like this camera. These are my yellow Calvis. Starting to get some size to them. Kind of excited about this. These are the Mapanga Red. My knee just cracked. And the female's holding. She's already held twice for me, and the eggs are never fertile. So we'll see. This tank's doing really good. I thought for sure, again, that these fish would destroy their plants, so I put a bunch of plants in here, and lo and behold, they're doing great. And I think it's because I feed this tank so heavy. So there's the holding female right there. You see how her bottom jaw is just packed full. So I'm going to give her another week, and if she still has eggs then, chances are they'll be fertile. And yeah, so this tank did amazing with plants. These are the crebensis, and they group up and come out for food, but I took away pretty much all their caves that they wanted to spawn in because they were getting a little bit nippy, but they get along really well now. These are the fire Ugandas, and he is really just beating on his females lately. So that's the dad to all the fire Ugandas that I have. One of the females just looks horrible. This one here, he is just mean to her. But they're tough. They're tough fish. He's beaten them down quite a few times. So this is one of my newest things here. This is a 30-gallon long tank, and it came already pre-separated. So these are just glass panels, so the water is not shared between tanks. You can see the different water levels here. So I got Neochromis omniceruleus here, and I just got a box filter in each one of them with some cycled gravel. And yeah, so just some babies. Just it's about 4 gallons per container. And then it's really nice up at the top. I just cut this afternoon. Just lift that up and I can feed all of them. And yeah, I just cut that out of Menards double wall polycarbonate. And I really like these handles. These are cheaper than these white handles. I forget what you call them. These are 3M handles, I believe. These master hooks. And these work just fine. But these are just easier. And you can find these on Amazon. They don't come off, of course. They're really sticky on one side and they're clear. They just got that little hook you can grab onto and lift up your lids. And I prefer them. I like them. These are just ruby reds, actually, growing up. They're a little bit too packed in there for 4 gallons, but it's not too bad yet. They're doing real good. These are Punamilla macrocephalus. These are going to be the black Lake Victorian. And I have only a handful of white labs. I ended up selling 10 white labs. So those are just like your yellow Labidochromis, except these are the white ones. So I haven't gotten any more since I sold the last 10. And then I have 1 empty tank I can move some fish to. So I moved this over here. This is a 60-gallon tank, and these are the Pseudotropheus interruptus, or maybe it's not Pseudotropheus, but they're in here with Eastern Happy. So you got Lake Victorians, you got Mabunas in here with Peacocks from Lake Malawi. And this tank does super good, no issues. The little ones that may get picked on, just find places to hide. There's a lot of structure in this tank. So there's this big like sea cave. Sorry about the glare. It's just a laundry basket. But it works out real good. There's actually a couple fish holding in there, I'm just noticing now. But with them being mixed fish, I'm probably not going to strip them or take them or anything. So these are also snakeskin endlers, which I'm using as dither fish for these red-tailed Guppies here. I've really taken a liking to the red-tailed Guppies. They get big. That's one of the females right there. And the male looks really cool. He only has half his colors right now, but he'll get like blue through half of his section there, kind of like a Bosmani rainbow fish. And yeah, these are all snakeskin endlers in here. But there are some little red-tailed Guppies. You can see them up here. I don't know if you can tell the difference in body shape. So that's a red-tailed Guppy swimming through with the endlers as well. So there's a handful of them, which is really nice because that's a rare, endangered species in the wild. So yeah, that's my, I think that's all these tanks. I think we went through the new setup that I got here, which is 6 more tanks. And we went through everything here. This is how I grow my plants immersed. I'm going to end this video before an hour. 59 minutes, 37 seconds. So every night I come through here and spray these plants, and they're basically just Anubias pieces. I cut the rhizome, plant them in organic potting soil, and this is some of the Java fern that I've just split the pieces apart, put in the potting soil, more Anubias. So I got 2 Java ferns, 2 Anubias going right now, and I just spray it, keep it healthy, and I'm just reutilizing these shop lights for 2 things. Oh, there's an hour. Everything. So really appreciate you watching. If you watch the whole thing, greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, so if you could share this video if you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff that all the YouTube people are asking you to do. And I need to shave and get a haircut. I'm looking pretty scruffy. So talk to everybody later. Thanks for watching. Bye.